My pleasure to welcome into the program and welcome to Laramie Elliott Arthur with Northeast Plains Aviation, a Colorado flight training business. Looks like, Elliott, that you guys got started in 2006, but here you are moving to Laramie, Wyoming. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Doing real good.
I appreciate the time. So let's start with what prompted the move from Colorado up here to the Laramie, Wyoming area.
Well, it's a really long story, but I'll shorten it up as much as I can. Essentially, I've wanted to develop an aviation flight training degree program at the college level for close to 15 years now. I tried repeatedly with junior colleges in Colorado. They just could not be interested. And finally one night about 3 in the morning, I woke up bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and had an epiphany. If you want one, build one. So
okay. I
tried that at several local airports in northeastern Colorado. Could not get them to play ball with me at all. And through a friend of mine, he led me to Cheyenne. We thought we were going to go there for a little while, and then that went by the wayside. So I started looking around, and I found the ideal location in terms of a hangar, some office space, an airport that wanted a maintenance operation and a flight training operation in Laramie. So here we are.
All right, you're out at Laramie Regional Airport. You became part of Wyoming Corporation in February, acquired the facility, and you're going to open this private aviation college. You began actually moving into the facility and kind of getting going last week. How has the first week and a half been for you?
Well, it's been really busy, trying to keep the pile of boxes growing ever smaller, and moving furniture. I've made 3 trips now, 1 with a U-Haul and 2 with my pickup. But we're just about done moving the company stuff up here. I've probably got maybe 1 more small load that I'll bring up next weekend. But we've got a couple people hired, flight instructor part-time, a mechanic part-time, and actually a second instructor will probably come on part-time late this month or early May. We're still negotiating his cost, if you will. And then I've had a couple of inquiries about the admin position that we're advertising, so we're making a little progress. We've got all the bank accounts set up. We're ready to do business. Got an airplane here to teach with. It's awesome.
All right, so this is a private aviation college. If I'm interested, whether it's positions or maybe possibly going into this school, what are the steps that I need to take here?
Well, first thing to do is just give me a call. Our number's 307-343-6300. That's our local number. If you happen to live outside the calling area and you don't have a long distance service on your telephone, you can always use our toll-free number, which is 888-981-8808.
Okay.
A lot of 8s in all the phone numbers. That's because the Chinese say 8s are lucky, but we'll see.
Visiting with Elliott Arthur from Northeast Plains Aviation. This is a Colorado flight training company that just moved up here to Laramie. They've gotten everything set up at Laramie Regional Airport and now taking steps along the way. It looks like, so you talked about the maintenance division. How big will that be, in terms of, just maintaining these aircraft and helping out Laramie Regional Airport, it sounds like, almost at the same time?
Well, yeah, it's a double-edged sword, so to speak. We will get as big as we can get.
Okay.
Right now we can accommodate 5 aircraft, and for the time being 2 of those are mine. And of course they need to be maintained on a fairly regular basis. And one of them is a twin. Of course, that takes twice as much maintenance because it has 2 engines.
Right.
Okay. And by the way, I need to mention we have registered. We received our registration notice from the state of Wyoming as Laramie Aviation Resources. That'll be our trade name at the Laramie Airport. Okay,
so doing business as Laramie Aviation Resources, basically. All right. It also looks like you want to kind of do development of an airframe and power plant maintenance training program in the next few months. What are we talking about there?
Well, I'm not an airframes and power plants mechanic.
Okay.
When it comes to piloting, I've got 10,000 plus hours of experience, and I've flown for an airline, I've flown for charter and so forth, so I've pretty much got that in hand. When it comes to a mechanic, I've got to get a mechanic hired who not only knows what he's doing, but enjoys teaching it. And then we will sit down and we will develop our maintenance training program. It might be next year before we get that done. But I want to get it done as soon as possible. there's a shortage of mechanics as well as pilots across the country. So now's a good time, and this is a good place.
Might be a growth industry for folks in the listening audience. Maybe you got some youngsters. What is it like? You mentioned you've got all these hours flying. I've flown, but not necessarily from a personal standpoint, like actually flying the aircraft. I'm just talking about flown, commercially as a passenger. What is it like when people get up and start to learn that experience for the first time?
It's actually pretty satisfying. One of the things that I love about teaching is the big smile the first time they land an airplane on their own. The first time they solo, when you get out of the airplane, say, bring it back in 3 landings and don't break it, They come back, they're grinning ear to ear. It's something they will never forget. All
right. We're talking with Elliott Arthur, Northeast Plains Aviation, which will be doing business here in Laramie as Laramie Aviation Resources here. Mm-hmm. So they're just getting underway. An air taxi charter operation planned for the near future, hopefully?
Very near. I've owned 2 charter operations in the past. It's going to be a relatively simple matter to take all those documents that are required by the FAA, scan them back into the computer, change the name, change the circumstances, a few of the rules have changed. In 3 to 6 months, we should have a charter certificate if all things go well.
So what does that mean for your operation?
It means we can legally, let's say you want to go to a Rockies game. Okay. You don't really feel like driving for 3 hours, do you, each way? Why don't we fly for 45 minutes, drop you off in Broomfield, have a black car service pick you up, take you to the game, pick you up after the game, bring you back to the airport, and bring you home. That's something a charter certificate can do for you. There are people out there that try to do that without a charter certificate. It's illegal, and if the FAA catches you, it's extremely expensive.
Oh, wow.
But, the charter certificate says 1, we're insured, 2, we're qualified, 3, we've been examined by the FAA to be diligent and good at what we do.
So again, this sounds like something that could grow here, and it sounds like folks here from the business sector are excited about this.
We have had a good deal of input, positive. I attended an airport board meeting last week, and completely positive all the way around. They're happy to have us here. We will be the only maintenance provider on the field in terms of having an established location. And we will. There is a Laramie Flying Club that does teach the same, but they don't teach the same program we do by a long stretch. They're primarily for casual flyers. We're looking at the professional pilot candidate who wants to have a job the day he graduates. Okay,
so something to keep in mind, folks, here with Laramie Aviation Resources out at the Laramie Regional Airport. Just got going. We're talking with Elliott Arthur, and he is the company's founder. And again, what are your numbers again? Let's throw those out to the listening audience in case you're interested, because I know we talked about everything that's going on with the school, but you also have positions for flight instructor, aircraft mechanic, and administrative assistant. You said you've had some inquiries there, but if people are interested in getting involved with this.
Okay, the local number is 307 343 6300. That's I use all 10 digits simply because if you've got a cell phone, you generally have to, just a reminder.
Yep.
And then for those people out of the area, we have a toll-free number, and that number is 888-981-8808. And we also, of course, have a website, northeast-plains.com.
Northeast-plains.com online. And that might be something for those of you that maybe there's not the interest locally, but maybe you've got grandkids, cousins, brother or sister or aunt, uncle out of the area that might be interested in doing something like this, or maybe has experience in the past doing something and maybe kind of looking to relocate or maybe advance in from where they are now. You just never know the possibilities here. And so this is pretty exciting here. A private aviation college here in Laramie. I don't know if I ever thought I'd see the day, Elliott, to be honest with you.
Well, I don't imagine a lot of people did. I mean, there's a lot of colleges that offer an aviation degree program. You can spend about $125,000 to $150,000 going to someplace like UND or Embry-Riddle and getting your bachelor's degree and your commercial pilot's license. 2 to 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
We will be working with local colleges to do the general education portion of the program, and then we will be exclusively the aviation side of it. We have dormitories lined up for people who are coming here from out of the area.
Okay.
Relatively inexpensive way to come here and train 5 days a week and be done in 6 months.
Got to ask you, impact of the weather in the Laramie area. And what
Actually,
that
a
has.
lot of people have asked me, are you actually crazy or what? My philosophy is this, if you're going to be a professional pilot, this weather is something you will have to deal with at some point in your career somewhere. And far better you learn it now than trying to learn it while you're trying to figure out how to get a Beach King Air or something like that onto an icy runway somewhere in Newfoundland or Alaska. I've never been a fan. When I was a highway patrol officer, I taught my kids to drive on snowy mall parking lots, because if you can't control a car in bad weather, you got no business driving it.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with an airplane. If you can't handle wind, if you can't handle, what are you going to do when the weather turns sour? Where are you going to go? Are you going to still land at Laramie? Are you going to go to Cheyenne? What are you going to do? Knowing what decision to make and how to make it is key to being a professional pilot. You have to know.
All right. Well, I was just curious as that question, and that's actually great, because I think back to when I trained and learned to drive from my dad, and he would take me out on bad roads and make sure that I knew how to handle the vehicle, and I've tried to do the same with one of my daughters who is of driving age now. Scary for this community, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. I'm giving my daughter, she has no way to defend herself. She's in school right now, but I can certainly understand that now, and that, I think, training in, because you're going to see the range of weather in Laramie.
Yes.
That's gonna help a pilot out.
It is. I've trained for the last 11 years. Prior to coming here, I was an instructor for a company called Professional Instrument Courses. They do advanced 10-day programs all over the country.
Okay.
I've taught from Edmonton, Canada to Mexico City, Mexico. And when you're traveling like that, you come across a tremendous variety in terms of weather, everything from sunny Southern California to snowstorms burying the airplane in Edmonton, Canada. You just never know what you're going to do. Flying for an airline. One of the scariest nights of my life was landing at Denver, in a snowstorm, with just not quite too much wind for the airplane. Snow so bad we could just barely see the runway at the required minimums. If you can't handle that kind of weather, you have no business being a professional pilot. And that's what we're going to train around here as professional pilots.
It's Laramie Aviation Resources at the Laramie Regional Airport, but they've got a private aviation college. When are you thinking about getting classes type stuff going here?
Well, we were supposed to, I've got a gentleman coming in for ground school and what's called a biennial flight review probably Friday.
Okay.
So we will do casual training for those that need it. Down the road, we will probably have to have additional aircraft dedicated to that side of it, and the other aircraft will be dedicated to the professional side, because they're going to fly 5 days a week, and the mechanic's going to be busy all weekend making sure they're ready. But we're ready now.
Okay.
We can do any of this training. I plan on starting a professional class the first Monday of every month, if we can get that running.
Sounds awesome. Elliott Arthur from Laramie Aviation Resources, moving his company up here. He's been going since '06, but found a home here in Laramie, Wyoming, and it sounds like more air traffic in and out of the Laramie Regional Airport. So if you see a lot more airplanes, you hear them in the skies. I don't know how you don't, because it's kind of tough to not notice more aviation traffic. Well, you got Elliott to thank. Welcome to the Laramie community. It sounds fun, and I wish you best of luck.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I was born here, so it's kind of like coming home.
There you go. Nothing wrong with coming home. That's Elliott Arthur from Laramie Aviation Resources, kind of to come on and talk about his new business out at the Laramie Regional Airport and everything that's going into it. Again, 307-343-6300 is a great and direct contact number. And again, that 800 number one more time, real quick.
It's 888-981-8808.
All right. Elliott, thank you so much for the time this morning.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.